Bohemia is at war. King Sigismund's armies continue tearing through the kingdom. Corrupt nobles betray their own people for power. And Henry, the son of a murdered blacksmith, is pulled deeper into a conflict far larger than revenge. But this time, Henry isn't just fighting bandits, he's facing the men responsible for destroying his entire life. The story begins shortly after the events of the first game. Henry now serves under Sir Radzig Kobyla, alongside Sir Hans Capon. Their mission is simple: deliver a diplomatic message and strengthen resistance against King Sigismund's occupation of Bohemia. But before they can succeed, their convoy is ambushed. The attack is organized, precise, and merciless. Soldiers are butchered, nobles are killed, and Henry barely survives after escaping into the wilderness. Very quickly, Henry realizes this wasn't random. Someone powerful wanted the mission destroyed before it even began. At the center of the war stands King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund invaded Bohemia after imprisoning his half-brother King Wenceslaus and claiming control over the kingdom. To enforce his rule, he unleashed foreign armies and mercenary forces across the land. Entire villages are burned. Food is stolen from peasants. Anyone resisting is executed publicly. Sigismund himself isn't always physically present, but his influence dominates the entire story. Every battlefield, every ruined village, and every massacre traces back to his campaign for power. And among Sigismund's most feared commanders is the man Henry hates most, Sir Markfart von Aulitz. Markfart von Aulitz is one of the commanders responsible for the destruction of Skalitz in the first game, the massacre that killed Henry's parents and destroyed his home. Even years later, Henry is haunted by what he witnessed: burning homes, dead civilians, his father murdered, his mother cut down in front of him. Throughout Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Henry continues hunting for Aulitz, obsessed with finally confronting the man who shattered his life. But the closer he gets to revenge, the more dangerous and emotionally unstable he becomes, because revenge has started consuming him. One of the most dangerous figures in the game is Otto von Bergo. Unlike Sigismund or Aulitz, Bergo doesn't rely purely on brute force. He manipulates politics, he plays both sides of the war, and he secretly undermines resistance efforts from within Bohemia itself. Bergo uses diplomacy, betrayal, and misinformation to weaken alliances against Sigismund. Several peace negotiations fail because of information leaked through his network. He represents the true rot inside the kingdom. Not every enemy wears enemy colors. Some hide behind noble titles, and Henry slowly uncovers just how many lives Bergo has sacrificed to protect his own power. Then there's István Toth, one of Henry's most personal enemies from the first game. István is intelligent, manipulative, and completely ruthless. Unlike traditional warriors, he weaponizes deception. He kidnaps nobles, orchestrates betrayals, turns allies against each other, and constantly stays several steps ahead of Henry. Even when defeated, István's influence continues shaping events behind the scenes. His actions help destabilize entire regions of Bohemia, allowing Sigismund's forces to spread further. Henry's hatred toward István becomes deeply personal, because István represents everything Henry despises: cowardice, hidden behind power. While István manipulates from the shadows, Erik becomes the brutal face of Sigismund's military power. Erik is cold, disciplined, and terrifying in combat. He isn't motivated by politics. He believes strength alone decides who deserves to rule. Throughout the game, Erik leads assaults, executions, and military operations against resistance forces. He serves as one of Henry's deadliest physical opponents, a man shaped entirely by war. Their rivalry grows with every encounter. Each battle between them feels personal, violent, and inevitable, because Erik sees Henry as weak sentimentality, holding back true power, and Henry sees Erik as the monster war creates. As the conflict escalates, Bohemia falls deeper into chaos. Castles are besieged, villages collapse from starvation. Mercenaries roam freely, slaughtering civilians for coin. Henry and Hans Capon are pulled into massive political and military conflicts where survival becomes more important than honor. But the deeper Henry enters the war, the more he realizes something terrifying. There are no clean victories. Every alliance requires compromise. Every battle leaves innocent people dead. And every act of revenge costs another piece of his humanity. By the final act, Henry finally comes face to face with the men who helped destroy his world. The confrontations are emotional, brutal, and long overdue, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 doesn't treat revenge as heroic. Instead, it shows how war transforms everyone involved: kings, nobles, soldiers, and ordinary people alike. Henry began as a blacksmith's son searching for justice. He ends as a hardened warrior trapped in a kingdom drowning in betrayal, politics, and endless war. And even after everything, the fight for Bohemia, is far from over. If you enjoyed this recap of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, subscribe for more cinematic story breakdowns, lore recaps, and deep dives into gaming's greatest narratives.